Hey, what's up? Well, long time, no video like this. I don't know how this is going to work out. I'm wearing something I haven't worn in a while, just because I think it would go nicely with this. Um, so, what I want to talk about in this video is a number of things. I'd like to do more unboxings, but unfortunately, I would finish wrecking my nails that my mom worked on. So, I would like to unbox, but it's rough on my nails, and there's a reason why I don't ever paint them. Not just laziness. It's the fact that, I do so many things around here that destroy them. So anyway, what I want to talk about first of all is these dolls. One of the most recent things I've gotten that I need to post a review on, or positive feedback, is just these run-of-the-mill Toy Century Kelly dolls. They were popular around the early 2000s. They were like to compete with the Kelly doll. Really cheap knockoff. And there were two in pretty dresses. They were like complementary mint green and purple dresses. Looks like somebody chopped one dress or two solid dresses in half and sewed them together. So then there was this new doll that I felt sorry for. And I decided to make her into as much of a boy as I can, without removing any eye makeup. And I put her in a boy's outfit, or him. And so that's as close as you can get to a Toy Century boy doll. Would have been nice if they had actual boy dolls, but I can understand why they didn't. And so, there's my makeshift boy from a nude girl. Okay, so enough about the dolls. What I want to talk about in this video, I want to title it Tuesday the 13th, 2024. And just more of the same about how, perhaps if I put a light on me, that would help illuminate my face. I don't know, maybe if I put it on this side. I really don't know how to work that out. But, I like to illuminate my face, So, it's been a long time with no videos. And this year is going to be a very crappy one in some ways. And one of the ways that it's crappy is just like my 7th grade year and my first year of college. Christmas was a Wednesday, and there were 28 days in the following February. So, unlike my 2nd grade year, which started off like that, unlike that year, it will not have the 3 Friday the 13th, It'll have just September and December with Friday the 13th. So basically 2 blue birthstones instead of 3. Sapphire, blue zircon, but not aquamarine, which is the light blue. And that's how I memorize it. So you'd have Christmas on a Wednesday as well as my birthday, I think, or yeah, something like that. Yeah, Wednesday. And so the following year, when February only has 28 days, that means that February and March can have Fridays that are divisible by 7. Instead of, having a Friday, March 13th. But, that's because, if it had 29 days, it would be one less than a multiple of 7. So anyway, I want to talk about Tuesday the 13th and how supposedly the Spanish people think that is the unlucky day. They don't think it's Friday the 13th. They think it's Tuesday the 13th. But honestly, I'm with FDR. I believe that any 13th is bad luck. I believe that anything the 13th is an unlucky day. So, Tuesday the 13th. my packages, 2 packages have been delayed, but that's not a big deal. You know, what is one more day without these dolls? So I just want to talk about how, the fact that, that month when in May of '97 that I'm obsessed with, and I can't remember anything else significant about it other than me having a cold and it being the last month of the 7th grade. So, the thing about what people don't realize, is there are just certain months that I consider linked together, because the number of days between them are divisible by 7. And, some of them that depends on whether or not it's a leap year if you go through February. But, like with September and December, because they're 13 weeks apart, September 1st and December 1st are always the same weekday, no matter what day that is. And same thing with like April and July, same number of days. And so basically, the thing about, May 2nd of 1997, and one of the manifold reasons I'll never forget that, that day that I missed, is that it was the only Friday, May 2nd of my entire public school days, the entire time that I was in public school, meaning kindergarten through my senior year. May 2nd was never a Friday at any other time. So I never once attended public school for one day on a Friday, May 2nd. Were there other Friday the 2nds? Absolutely. Approximately 1 out of 7 months have any given combination of like Friday the 13th or, whatever combination you're obsessed with. 1 in 7 months will have it. Unless it's higher than 28, okay? Because they would have to have that many days. So, it's just that, I know that that's insignificant, but to me it is significant. So, missing the only Friday, May 2nd of my entire 13 years of public school, it's like the more I think about it, the more memorable it becomes. And it's just so infuriating to me that my mom thought that she could just, erase it from my memory because she couldn't remember it. It was just another runny nose to her. And, so basically, I missed the only Friday, May 2nd that ever occurred in public school. And of course, the next opportunity I would have to go to school on a Friday, May 2nd would be, of course, my awful first year of college, which that time was equally bad and unforgettable. When I was 19 and, Monday Cinco de Mayo, I tried to end it for a very different reason. And I also happened to be getting over a cold. So yeah, it's like, yes, there were other Friday the 2nds. And what I started to say is like, when February only has 28 days in a common year, basically, August and May will begin on the same day. That rhymes. Because, like I stated before, there are certain months that are linked together always because they don't have February between them. April and July, September and December, March and the following November, like May and the following January. So, there was a Friday the 2nd the following year, 1998, but not for the rest of 97. And June and the following February. And then, of course, August and October are the 2 months that begin on a different weekday than all other months from March 1st through the following end of February. So those birthstones in my head are like partners. You have your March and November combo, blue and yellow, your April and July, red and white, your May and following January, green and red. You have the two purples, June and February. You have a lone peridot all by itself, light green. You have September and December, the two blues. And you have this lone pink tourmaline all by itself. And that covers them all. So it's 7 different weekdays. And those would be the possible combos of Friday the 13th, or for Friday the anythings. Were you born on March 1st, like Justin Bieber? So you would never have 0 or 3 Friday the 13th. And the most common number would, of course, be 2. So this to be the same average of 1.714285, no matter who you are, no matter when you're born. But the range is wider, if you're born further away from leap day. Because it's a more drastically different, set of combinations, you know what I'm saying? It's not like mostly repeats like the calendar. So anyway, it's just something that I was just so nerdy, and that's another thing people would remember about me, is that I was just so nerdy. I love math, but wasn't really good in, social skills. So, just want to talk about that, how August and May will always begin on the same weekday if the following February has only 28 days, which is most of the time. And that's because, let's see, it is what, 9 months? So I guess 39 weeks. Yeah, something like that. I think it's 39 weeks apart. So basically in 96, 97, because we already had the leap day, August and May were identical, the calendar basically. So, Friday the 2nd had happened in August, but of course that was still during what little was left of the summer. Okay, there wasn't much left of the summer, but it didn't occur during the school year. Because the first day of school in 7th grade, I still remember, was August 15th, 1996. And the last day was May 29th, 1997. And it was a very sad, bittersweet day. Like, perhaps the only day I ever cried at school. Because it was the last day of school. Never in elementary, never in 6th grade, never in 8th grade, never in high school. And that's odd. And it's all because of one man that I will never forget. And, so yeah, basically I was just thinking about that because we had a Friday the 2nd. And, I started getting a cold like the second week of school, like in August, and then of course November, January, and May. Unforgettable May 2nd, 1997. And so yeah, my mom, as much as she might think she can tell me to forget these things, it's not going to happen. Because if I can remember something as insignificant, as when every Friday the 13th occurred in my life, and of course I don't remember them in my early years, like infancy, I just happen to know the math, just like the clock angle thing. Me happening to know, like, let's see, 30 minus 5.5 is what, 24.5. So, like, me happening to know that at 1:01 a.m. or p.m., doesn't matter, there's like a 24.5-degree angle between the hour and minute hand. Well, that isn't because I put a freaking protractor on the clock, ever. It's because of the mental math. And it's the same way that I know I can calculate mentally, like, what weekday someone was born. Or, like, when their first Friday the 13th was. And the fact that I know, like, my first Friday the 13th was January of 84, that's just because I know the nature of the calendar. And I've memorized the pattern, that whenever my birthday is a Sunday, like the day I was born, we have a Friday, January the 13th, and Christmas is a Sunday. And so, it's just stuff like that, the fact that the calendar, because it's 28 years ago, and that's divisible by 7, even including the leap days and all that, the calendar is going to be identical to 96, 97, because it's divisible by 7. So yeah, so I think it's like, what, 1,460, yeah, 1,461 weeks or something like that. Yeah. So, because it's an exact number of weeks ago that I was in the seventh grade, it's like my mind is gonna start like freaking out because oh my god, it's like 28 years ago on this day I was in the seventh grade, and this was happening. Oh my god, like I was absent what November 25th and 6th because they wouldn't give us the full week off for Thanksgiving, and also happened to be sick. So we went and saw my grandmother, and I was sick. So, it just freaks me out to remember things as they happened, because it's an exact number of weeks ago. And so yeah, the only opportunity I ever had to go to school on a Friday, May 2nd, as well as the only Friday the 2nd of my entire seventh grade year. And as I've stated before, they say like in Spanish culture that like Tuesday the 13th is bad luck. Well, guess what happens the following month? If you have a Tuesday the 13th and it's a 31-day month, you have a Friday the 13th in the following month. And that's because, well, Friday is 3 days after Tuesday, and 31 is 3 more than 28. So, it's double bad luck. So yeah, like, we hadn't had we had the Friday the 2nd over the summer in August. And I want to say, like, before that, it had been February of my sixth grade year. And then the following Friday the 2nd would, of course, be January of 98. And that was over the Christmas holiday of my 8th grade year. And it wouldn't happen again until I was in high school in October of 98. Yeah. And I think it would happen again in April of that year, in July. And so, yeah, I would be in high school the next time I would have an opportunity to go to school on a Friday the 2nd. And the next time it would be Friday, May 2nd, I would be in college. So, not that I really cared that much, but it's a way, it's just another thing that makes it significant in my mind. A month beginning on a Thursday and having, a Friday the 2nd. I mean, not that that was ever significant, but I just associate that with this cold that I had in May of 97 and missing school that day in a way that my mom could never take away from me and pretend like it was allergies. So yeah, and the other thing is about like the cold that I had. I was also thinking about the cold I had like Wednesday, October the 13th of 2004. Yeah. And how like that was the only October cold I'm pretty sure that I ever had in my 20s. I hadn't had one in October since I was 18. If that was October, I'm pretty sure it was October in my senior year, first time I got sick. And I wouldn't have one again until almost to the day, almost exactly the 10-year anniversary in October of 2014, by which I was 31 instead of 21. Yep. So yeah, I mean, no matter what anyone says, it's like I remember the dates of these colds when they often coincided with significant things. And another thing is that those things became more significant because of the colds. So it's like a catch-22. Colds are significant, therefore the surrounding dates are significant, and vice versa. I know when the Friday the 13th occur, that is a lot less significant than the pain that I get in my throat and, the near dying coughs that I sometimes wake up to and then catch my breath. So, yeah, guess I've made another long video about colds, and so I'll go ahead and post it.